Samantha Mickleburgh always kept her promises. Always. But this time, her loyalty was about to cost her everything. Known as the Champagne Girl, she threw the kind of parties people remembered, and for her ex's 60th birthday, she planned the ultimate send-off. A 5-star suite, a Michelin star feast, a graceful goodbye. What she didn't know, James Cartwright was planning a final farewell that had nothing to do with blowing out candles. On paper, James Cartwright was just a bloke looking for love in his late 50s. When he met Samantha on a dating app in 2021, he seemed like a standard match. He was attentive, he was keen, and by September 2023, he was the romantic lead, dropping to one knee during a holiday in Antigua. Samantha said yes. To the outside world, they were the perfect Silver Surfer success story. But as the engagement ring settled on her finger, the atmosphere in their home began to shift into something far more suffocating. The reality behind closed doors wasn't a rom-com, it was a slow-motion car crash. James became increasingly obsessive, clingy. Samantha, realizing she'd made a mistake, ended the relationship. But James didn't do breakups. He started turning up at her house uninvited, mowing her lawn without being asked, sitting in his car outside her property for hours. Despite the harassment, Samantha felt a lingering sense of duty. Before the split, she had promised to spend his 60th birthday with him so he wouldn't be alone. On the 13th of April 2024, she honoured that word. She booked them into the Pennyhill Park Hotel. Twin beds, separate duvets, a clear understanding that this was a final act of friendship. The evening started at the hotel's prestigious restaurant. However, after the second course, Samantha suddenly became unwell. She was exhausted, struggling to stand. Restaurant staff watched as James walked her back to their suite. It was the last time anyone saw her alive. Upstairs, the celebration took a dark turn. Samantha suffered a skull fracture before the night ended in a horrific struggle. James had spent weeks telling other women on dating apps that this dinner would be a last goodbye. He knew exactly how the night was going to end before they even checked in. At 8:30 the next morning, James called 999. He played the part of the grieving partner, claiming he'd woken up to find Samantha dead beside him. But the scene was a proper mess of lies. He had placed an engagement ring on Samantha's finger after she died to back up his claim that they'd reconciled. It was a dodgy performance from the start. The police weren't buying it. The post-mortem told the real story. Samantha hadn't fallen out of bed. She had been raped and strangled to death. His history soon came to light. He'd been slapped with a conditional caution for harassing an ex-girlfriend before he'd even swiped right on Samantha. During the trial in August 2025, the jury took only one afternoon to see through the act. They found him guilty of murder and rape. His own sister called him a monster from the witness stand. The judge handed down a life sentence with a minimum of 28 years. Samantha Mickleburgh was a woman of her word, and James Cartwright used that kindness to destroy her,